In this series, we will see why ACI is needed, the use case, what is API, how it works, using API to access powerful AI models in Python. Understanding API response object, because without it, you won't be able to fetch actual response generated by the model. What API key is and how does it keep track of what usage. The human while watching this video, you will say to learn and use API. But your real goal is something different, and I can guess it correctly. To build something valuable with AI. So, what can be made with AI? A product, something that users use every day, a service that solves a real world problem, or a business where the ultimate goal is to make money. So just let me know in the comment box, why do you want to learn and use API? Most of you are not going to use API to create newer and smarter AI models because that will require big research teams, expensive GPU, huge data sets, many nodes of training. Instead, you're going to use API to use existing smart models via API to build a completely new and powerful AI product. A product that may solve real world problems. Today, the question is no longer can you build powerful AI, but the question today is what can you build using it. The smartest AI models are available today, but we require talent to use them. And the talent is you. And it starts with one big thing, understanding the API. So what the API is, which can be used very easily to build something new and make money. APIs are the gateways to powerful AI models. Today, you can access world-class AI models using API in just a few lines of code. Suppose you have built a product and you want to add intelligence to it. What would you do now? Will you start building model from scratch? No, you do not need to do that. You do not need to build this artificial intelligence from scratch anymore. Instead, you can use an AI model that already provides that intelligence. Why should you not build AI from scratch in this case? Because then you will incur some hidden costs. You have to hire big research teams, and you have to put some expenditure on expensive GPUs. We have to pay to maintain huge data sets and many months of training with massive amount of investment in training costs. API had become the bridge between the API AI models and real-world applications. Today, every model app consumes APIs for payments, for authentication, for notification, for maps, for translation, etc. So payments via APIs from Stripe, Razorpay, PayPal that we often see while making any transactions on any website. For authentication, we had APIs from Google, Apple, or that to find when we trying to log in some applications. For maps, most used API is Google Maps or the Mapbox. For translation, again widely used API is from Google, that is Google Translate. For notifications, developers commonly use APIs like Firebase Cloud Messaging, Trailer, email APIs like Subgrid. These services help applications send push notifications, OTPs, SMS messages, and alert messages. And for AI, we have APIs of powerful AI models provided by Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Hugging Face. Here we have seen that not every API is an AI model. Payments, authentication, and maps are APIs, but none of them need AI for their usual tasks. But these are just the APIs that can be used by the developers in their code, so they do not need to write everything from scratch. Suppose you are building an application where you will allow unauthorized users to use your application. How will we do that? You have two approaches to choose from. Approach A could be you may take the data from the users themselves, verify their phone number and email IDs, store a password securely, build and maintain database of users. Approach B could be via API. You can ask Google whether the user is a genuine user, why this will work. Because Google has verified, because Google already verified billions of users. Your application calls Google's authentication API and asks, is this user genuine? If Google verifies the user, your application allows them to log in, and we know that today too many applications are already using Google Auth API to authenticate users. Let's take another use case. Suppose you are building a Swiggy-like app. This app must have to provide the map to delivery boys to help them to route from their current location to the restaurant. Instead of building own maps, navigation system, and traffic analysis from scratch, you can use Google Maps APIs for routing and traffic details, which is already providing very accurate detail. When your application is integrated with Google Map API, user will see the delivery route and rider will see the route. Swiggy is also doing the same. They have not built traffic analysis system and maps from scratch, but use Google Maps API. AI is becoming just another service developers use to plug in directly into their applications. For this, API providing powerful models are being used. And today we are here to learn how to plug in powerful API models into your code using APIs. So what an API is? It is an acronym to Application Programming Interface. It is essentially a set of rules and protocol that lets different software applications to interact with each other. Let's understand how does an API work. Client sends a request, for example, give me today's weather. API receives the request and sends to the appropriate server where the model is hosted. The model server, upon receiving the request from the API, processes the user's request, sends the response back. For example, weather data in JSON format. API receives the JSON response and then forward it back to the client. Client and server can be written in completely different languages. A Python app can call a JavaScript service. A unique feature of API is that it exposes only what is needed. The internal code, the database, the server logic stays hidden and protected. When you go to a restaurant, you do not directly go into the kitchen and cook the food over there. Instead, you place the order to waiter in place. You just need to know three things: what are available food items, the price chart, and what you want to eat. Here, the waiter is analogous to the API, and the kitchen can be said equivalent to the hidden internals. The waiter goes into the kitchen and brings your food on the table. API also works in the similar way. So you only need to know the three things in the context of API: what input to send, what output you will get, or to use that response in your application. So what an API speaks? It speaks and it understands JSON, JavaScript object notation. In modern API, JSON is a structured way to send and receive data. Both request and response are usually in JSON. Here you can see a very small sample of JSON response. It looks like a Python dictionary. There are several fields here: city, temp, sky, humidity. If you want to know the value of city, you need to fetch the value of city field from here.
Now let's see what happens behind the scene. User interacts with the application. Now suppose user wants to know weather information. App will build a JSON request with the required information, and the request is sent over to the API server to the API endpoint, and API endpoint is actually an URL. So request is sent over to the HTTP. Request is sent over to the HTTP to the API endpoint, And this is actually the API endpoint. We will discuss API in detail in our later slides. API server routes the request to the model server, and this model server is hosted on GPU cluster. Server processes the input and generate the JSON response. The JSON response is sent back to the API server. API server receives the JSON response, and on receiving the JSON response, it sends the response back to our app. Now, application read the JSON, extract the information, and renders UI to the user. All this happens in a few hundred milliseconds.
So we have seen that AI is not running on your laptop, but you're borrowing the most powerful computers in the world. In our last slide, we have seen that you have sent your request have been processed on a server which is running on a GPU cluster. You are borrowing the services of this particular server that is available in a very expensive cluster. So what you have to pay? You are getting this kind of service for a fraction of your currency per request. But what the endpoint is? How does an endpoint look like? It is just an URL. So you're sending a JSON request on a particular URL. Suppose you want to access Anthropic's model, you will use a URL. It could look like this. Here, https:// is the protocol, as you know, api.anthropic.com. Suppose this is a server location where we want to send our request and where our API hosted. And v1/messages is the API itself. And v1/messages is the API itself. This is actually the specific code that handles your request. A single endpoint can serve many different models. Means one endpoint and same URL and different rings. What the API server does? It is a smart middleman. It receives your request, checks your API key, whether you're allowed or not. We will talk more about this, why this verification is required. It also checks the rate limits. Rate limits means it will verify, are you sending too many requests? Many times you may have noticed that ChatGPT stops responding and asks you to wait for a few hours. Why this happens? This is because the usage limit of your current plan has been reached. The API server checks your current plan and usage limits before processing your request. If the allowed limit of your plan has been exceeded, the server temporarily stops accepting new requests and asks you to wait until the limit resets. Besides this, API server also format a request properly. If the system prompt have been specified, then it forwards it to the actual model server. It receives the response from the model server and then returns it to you. This is how an API, this is just an overview of how the API server looks like. Now let's see using AI via API. How can you use AI via API? Now you will connect your product to powerful API models. To make a product AI powered, you decide two things. What task you want AI to perform. Second, which company's model you want to use. What AI can do? AI has so many capabilities. It has the capabilities of text generation, image generation, speech recognition, translation, recommendation, summarization, and many more. But how AI provides all this? Because of the providers, because of the big names like OpenAI, Google, Netflix, Anthropic, Hugging Face. These are the big names or the big companies, big enterprises who have encapsulated these capabilities in their flagship models. We have GPT-4 and GPT-5 series of models from OpenAI. We have Whisper from OpenAI itself for speech recognition. We have Google Translate and Gemini from Google. We have Cloudage, Sonnet, Haiku from Anthropic. We choose an AI model based on the task, cost, speed, accuracy, and capabilities required for the applications. Different models are trained differently and optimized for different purposes. To get higher intelligence, you pay higher cost but get slower speed. If you pay less, you get less capable model but faster response. Here, you can also see we have thousands of open models provided by the on the Hugging Face platform. Open models are the AI models whose model weights and architectures are publicly available. So developers and companies may download, modify, and run them on their own system and serve them via APIs. These companies are known as inference providers. Once you pick a correct model for according to your need, according to requirement, you need an API key. Think of an API key like a password or an identity card. It tells the server who you are, which application is making the request, and whether you are allowed. So here, how you can convert your business idea to an AI product. Choose the task, choose the model, get an API key, then send an API request, receive the API response, and then you can build your product on top of it.
Now, suppose you want to use Anthropic's model, so you have to use Anthropic's API. So what steps you must take? Here is a short walkthrough of those steps. First of all, you have to visit console.anthropic.com and create a free account over there. While creating the account, you may be also asked to add your credit and debit card details for billing verification because you're going to get access to powerful GPUs and advanced models that are not free to use. Then you have to navigate to API key section in your dashboard. There you will create a new API key with a friendly name. You copy and store it immediately because you will never see it again. Never paste your API key directly into your code. Treat it like a bank password and store it in an environment variable. API key should be kept secret because anyone who has the key can use your account to access API and you will be charged for their usage. So guys, here is the first API call that we will be waiting for so long. You need these lines to use API and build something valuable in Python. Suppose you want to use Anthropic's model, you must install Anthropic library by typing pip install Anthropic. Then you have to import Anthropic along with others required library. This Anthropic library provides you several modules helpful in making APIs to Anthropic, helpful in making API calls to Anthropic server. Anthropic is an important module that sends client requests to Anthropic API and receive response from the API on the behalf of your Python application. And the created client object sends request to the Anthropic API, receives response from the API, handles authentication using your API key, manages the underlying HTTP communication. The client object will get your API key from the OS environment. Before you can use your API key here, it must have been exported into your environment. Another important line is client.messages.create. This function will take your input as well as the model name that you want to use. Here is a model name and here is the actual input that you want to give to the AI. And the model name is Cloudage Sonnet that we are using here. You also have messages parameter. This is the messages parameter that takes a list of dictionaries. Here we are having only one dictionary containing two fields, role and content. You are providing the input as a user. So the role is set as user, and the content is explain what is API in 3 lines. This message variable will hold the response. This message variable will hold your actual response. And to get the actual response, you have to type message.contain0.text. You will get a very big response inside this message variable. But to read the actual response generated by the AI, you have to type this particular statement, message.contain0.text. Why is this dot notation? Why it contains 0? Is response contain a list of elements? We will see. But before that, let's understand why max tokens parameter is needed here. Why max tokens parameter is needed? Max tokens parameter specifies the maximum number of tokens the AI is allowed to generate in its response. It helps control response length, reduce API cost, and prevent extremely long outputs. Max tokens limits only the output size and not the input prompt size. But billing is often based on total tokens, and total token is not only your output token, but this is input token plus output token. So your billing is often based on total tokens. Now you have the models parameter here. If you are not satisfied with this model, Sonnet model, your current model, and if you are not satisfied with its response speed, you have the option to swap the model name to some other lighter weight or heavyweight models. So instead of Cloud Sonnet, you can use other name provided by the Anthropic, other brains provided by the Anthropic. For example, Haiku, which is fastest and least expensive. Or you can also use but this is less capable than Sonnet. Or you can also use Opus here, the most capable model among these three, Sonnet, Haiku, and Opus. So you have the option to swap the model. You can either use Sonnet or Haiku, which is fastest but least expensive but less capable than Sonnet, or you can also use Opus, which is the most capable model among these three. This means you will use the same SDK, same endpoint, but we have the option to use different brains or different models.
So let's see how do we handle and manage responses. You will not get plain text back as response. You get a structured JSON object and the actual content is buried inside it. Understanding JSON structure is the first real skill of working with any API. So here are certain rules that you should keep in mind before you can work with API responses. Read the documentation first. Every API structures its response differently. You should log the complete response. See the actual structure before fetching text. Never hard-code the assumptions because even the same company changes instruction across models. Filter by type when needed. Some responses have mixed content blocks. Print messages contain 0.text we have seen. We have seen a statement in our last slide where messages.contain 0.text was written. There, we want to extract text from the response. So we use text over there. Contain 0 indicates that the response may contain multiple contents item or different type of contents.
Now, how will you access the actual output generated by the AI? You have to look inside the message object. Here, typing print response will display full response object on the screen. Here is a sample response object for you, and you can see that the response is not in JSON format. Why the response is not in JSON format? Because the Anthropic library that we have just used converts JSON into a Python object for you. Anthropic server sends raw JSON, but the Python library on intercepting JSON converts it to a message object. Then you will get clean Python object. No manual JSON parsing is required in your code, and developer can use it like any other Python object. Python library often hide JSON complexity by converting responses into Python objects. Now let's talk about the usage object. Remember, you may have seen this line in our last slide. This is our usage object, which is also generated in our message object, in our response. Why this is required and what does it keep track of? Let's talk about this. We pay by the token. With every request, somewhere in the world, a rack of GPUs wake up and run millions of mathematical operations to generate your response token by token. So even a single sorry or thank you technically consumes lots of tokens, computational resources, and electricity, and as a result, a tiny amount of your money. So the next time you say thank you or sorry to ChatGPT, remember you have just spent a few extra tokens and a tiny fraction of the GPU's effort. So we have two types of tokens. You can see here there is input token and output tokens. What you send to the model, the prompt, is the input token. Reading a word is easier than generating one. So this is very cheaper. Output token. What the model generates is the output token. Generating is harder than reading. So this is more expensive. Always remember one rule. Output always costs more than the input. And that's why we specify this output token here, so that output tokens, so that we can put some limit on our cost by controlling the number of output tokens generated by the AI.
Now let's talk about the API key. This is the API key that usually keeps track of your usage. API key is your identity. It is not just a password. It is an identity tag attached to every single request you make.
The server knows everything. Here is what the server knows everything by the way of your API key. Here is what the API key keeps track of. It keeps track of total token used, request per minute, your endpoint hits, your error rates, and which model was used. So it keeps track of every request, who sent it, when, which model was used, who was the user, how many tokens consumed, and how much to charge.
So why should you protect your API key? What happens if your key leaks? If your key leaks, someone sends request with your key, Anthropic sees your key, you get charged, you get the bill, and they get the intelligence who has leaked your key. The server has no way to know it was not you. The key is you for the server. So, you cannot talk to a frontier AI model and You can perform several available tasks: text to text, text to image, voice to text, and many more. So go and build something, make it valuable. Thank you.